Welcome to Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin, Florida. Beautiful day for baseball. It's the spring training home for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Red Sox and Jays in Grapefruit League action. Hi again, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the competition for the starting rotation continues for the Red Sox, and today we get another look at Daniel Bard.
Daniel Bard, a couple of starts ago, had a very tough outing, but he bounced back last time out to have a pretty good outing for the Boston Red Sox. It did get off to a little bit of a shaky start as he gives up a double down that left field line to bring in a couple of runs, but settled down nicely, picked up a strikeout in the ball game, one of a few for Daniel Bard in that game. I think the one thing that Bobby Valentine's looking for today from Bard is to cut down on the walks. He's had 7 walks in his last 2 outings, and that's something that Valentine's not too happy about. And I think he'd also like to see him mix in his changeup a little bit against right-handed hitters in particular. So we'll see if he does that today to try to ease his way into this Red Sox starting rotation.
Well, the Red Sox and Blue Jays will play 18 times during the regular season. They'll play spring training baseball coming your way next. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. New England Chevy dealers. Ace Ticket. New Balance, the official footwear and apparel sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. New Balance, let's make excellent happen. And by Bob's Discount Furniture. A beautiful warm day in Dunedin, Florida, as the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays meet once again. As the Red Sox had just hosted the Blue Jays last week at JetBlue Park and now travel here to Dunedin. As the Red Sox continue to be well-traveled, they still have lots more travel left to go and have been doing a great bit of traveling lately. Jupiter yesterday. They are here today in Dunedin, and tomorrow will be in Clearwater. So moving around a little bit here, spring training progresses, and today we get another look at Daniel Bard as things are starting to take shape, as some of the decisions are going to need to be made very soon here, Jerry, in this last week of spring training.
That's exactly right, Don. You know, after we go off the air today, there's about just basically 1 week left in spring training, and decisions have to be made not only in the starting rotation, but depending on what happens there, that's going to define the bullpen also. And I would guess that today is a very important start for Daniel Bard. As we mentioned in the open, he did pitch better his last time out. The walks have been a little bit of a concern for Bobby Valentine, 7 in his last 2 outings. See if he can correct that problem today.
Oh, and the Red Sox wrap up here today. Still some spring training baseball left. As I mentioned, they'll be in Clearwater, take on the Phillies tomorrow. More spring training action. We'll be with you again next Sunday, week from today, hosting the Minnesota Twins in our final spring training telecast of the spring. Then the Red Sox travel to Washington for an exhibition game, and then the regular season gets underway on the 5th of April in Detroit with the day game. And the Red Sox will play 3 with the Tigers, 3 with the Blue Jays before returning home to take on the Tampa Bay Rays in the home opener. Well, the Blue Jays have taken the field. Let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Mike Aviles leads it off. He's at shortstop with Jacoby Ellsbury in center field batting second. Adrian Gonzalez at first base in the 3 spot. Darnell McDonald in left field in the cleanup spot. Ryan Lavarnway's the DH. He bats 5th with Josh Kroger in right field. Kelly Shopik doing the catching with Nate Spears at third base batting 8th. And Jonathan He at second base will bat 9th. On the mound for the Blue Jays is Aaron Laffey. His second appearance against the Red Sox this spring, his 3rd game overall. He's 2-0 with a 2.70 spring training going, and in 10 innings has 9 strikeouts, no walks, and opponents are hitting at just .237 against Laffey. So far, he's been very good as he vies for a spot in the rotation for the Toronto Blue Jays.
And the defense this afternoon for the Blue Jays. They'll have Brett Laurie at third base, Yunel Escobar the shortstop, Kelly Johnson at second, and Adam Lynn, the first baseman. Left to right, Eric Thames, Colby Rasmus, and Jose Bautista. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for Laffey.
Fairly warm day here today in Dunedin. As we take a look at the conditions, 78 degrees, feels warmer than that. Breeze northwest at 9 miles per hour, and partly cloudy is the forecast. Nothing but blue skies above right now as we get things started from Florida Auto Exchange Stadium here in Dunedin, Florida. And Mike Aviles to lead it off. He's hit at .293 so far during the spring. He's 12 for 41. And Laffey, the 26-year-old, last year spending time with the Yankees and Mariners, all out of the bullpen. Ready with the first pitch of the game. And it's in there for strike 1. Laffey first breaking into the big leagues with the Cleveland Indians, 2007. It's with the Indians through 2010, and then, as I mentioned, last year splitting time between the Mariners and Yankees and exclusively out of the pen. When with the Indians, he did make 19 starts in 2009. The most that he has made in the majors was 7-9 that year with the Tribe. Aviles to left on a line, and this will quickly get back to the track on the wall. Thames will grab it, but Aviles is headed into second base with a double to get things started.
Now, Aviles has been swinging the bat very well, especially recently. Average up to .293 this spring. He jumps on a 83-mile-an-hour pitch and rifles it on a line like he's been doing to left field for the leadoff double.
So Aviles at second base to get it started, and here's Jacoby Ellsbury batting second in the Red Sox order today after leading off the last couple of days. .278 spring. He is 10 for 36 so far during the spring. Left a pickoff move at second base with nobody cheating in. Aviles darting back to the bag. Hard hit and a fair ball down the first base line to the right field corner. Mike Aviles coming around from second. He will score. Ellsbury's thinking 3. And Ellsbury will get 3. Red Sox take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Ellsbury in that situation trying to pull the ball with Aviles on second base, and he gets a good pitch to pull. The ball's inside, right by the first baseman, Adam Lynn, and all the way down into the corner. By the time it's tracked down by Bautista, you got Ellsbury into third base with a triple and a Red Sox with a 1-0 lead. So Ellsbury trying to pull the ball to advance the runner, gets the bonus, gets the triple to go along with it.
So Red Sox on top 1-0 right out of the gate. Jacoby Ellsbury 90 feet away, and here's Adrian Gonzalez. Takes a look at ball one. Adrian hitting at .296 during the spring. Slap foul off to the left, and it evens up now at 1-1.
Driving up here this morning, we had some pretty heavy rains on the way up to Dunedin, but it certainly has cleared off and become a very nice afternoon.
It's inside, and it's now 2-1 to Adrian Gonzalez. The Blue Jays have trained here in Dunedin since 1977. 2-1 is popped up into shallow right center. Center fielder Colby Rasmus. He is there to make the catch. Ellsbury will tag and score the second Red Sox run.
Not all that deep, but it doesn't have to be with Ellsbury at third base at his speed. Gonzalez getting a breaking ball, lifting it into center field, and Ellsbury has no problem scoring, not even a throw from Colby Rasmus back into at home plate.
So one out, base is now empty, and here's Darnell McDonald, who's had a fabulous spring, hitting at .481 during the spring, 13 for 27 in the breakdown. As he takes ball one. High chopper out towards Escobar at shortstop. A little trouble getting it out of his glove, but he gets it there just in time. Darnell thought he beat it out. Escobar in the transfer had trouble getting it out, but he does, and there's two down.
Yeah, it looked like it got caught up in the webbing of the glove for Escobar right there. It's on the transfer, and then finally, once he gets the grip, he has to really let it loose in a very close play at first base. Darnell thought he beat it out, but does not get the call from the first base umpire.
Two down for Ryan Lavarnway, getting the start as the DH today. Lavarnway takes strike one. He's 12 for 28 so far during the spring, hitting at .429. Now to right center field on a line, and that's in for a hit that gets by the center fielder Rasmus quickly. Lavarnway headed for second base, and he'll get there standing with a double.
Well, the Red Sox off to a better start than last time they saw Laffey down at JetBlue Park. Ryan Lavarnway in that DH spot today. Nice inside-out swing going to right center field with that. Good balance for Lavarnway.
So in scoring position at second base for Josh Kroger. 8 for 38 so far during the spring, hitting at .211, and today getting the start in right field. Blue Jays are 18-4-1 so far during spring training. Had a very good spring. John Farrell would very much like that to translate into a good start to the regular season. Yesterday they got their 18th win of the spring and have now won 16 of their last 18 games. On the ground right side, Kelly Johnson will range and throw out Josh Kroger to wrap up the first inning, but the Red Sox get 2 in the inning. The Blue Jays are coming up. Back in Dunedin, Florida, where the Red Sox get 2 runs in the top of the first inning. The Blue Jays coming up here in the bottom of the first inning. The Blue Jays starting lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Kelly Johnson leads it off at second base with Yunel Escobar at shortstop. Jose Bautista is in right field batting third with Adam Lind at first base. Edwin Encarnacion is the DH. Brett Laurie is at third base batting sixth. Eric Thames in left field seventh. Colby Rasmus in center field. And Jeff Mathis, the former Angel, bats ninth. He does the catching. As on the mound today for the Red Sox is Daniel Bard. 1-2 his record so far during the spring. 7.11 his earned run average. In 12 2/3 he has given up 10 runs. And today a very important outing for him. The starting pitcher is brought to you by New Balance, the official footwear and apparel sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. New Balance, let's make excellent happen.
And let's quickly look at the Red Sox defense. Nate Spears at third base. Mike Aviles, the shortstop. Jonathan He at second. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman. McDonald, Ellsbury, and Kroger in the outfield. And Kelly Shoppett doing the catching.
Kelly Johnson leading it off for the Jays, and he takes ball one from Bard. The walks have been a bit of a concern for Daniel Bard. As you see the numbers for Kelly Johnson so far during the spring. There's a strike, 1-1. Bard only throwing one changeup in his last outing. Bobby Valentine would like to see many more today. Certainly in need of a third pitch on a regular basis if he's going to be a starter. Kelly Johnson breaking in with the Atlanta Braves, time in Arizona and last year in Toronto. Grounds this back up the middle and by everybody into center field. Vilas and He trying to knock it down in behind second base, but it gets through and Kelly Johnson's aboard.
Once this gets over the head of Daniel Bard, very little chance for the second baseman or shortstop. Even if they make the play on the dive, they're not going to get Kelly Johnson at first base.
So lead runner on, and it brings up Yunel Escobar. 243 spring for Escobar in his 14th spring training game. Escobar, 29 years old, from Havana, Cuba. Now resides in Miami during the offseason. Taken by the Braves as a second-round pick and then traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, part of the JoJo Reyes deal. Shortstop Alex Gonzalez was involved as well in July of 2010. Chop to third. Spears will go to second for one, on to first for two. Round the horn they go, 2 down.
That's exactly what Daniel Bard wants. Some easy outs, ground ball outs, and this one turns into a double play. Nice pivot at second base by Jonathan He. And the Red Sox pick up the double play. A couple of outs here in the first inning.
2 down for Jose Bautista. Wild swing and a miss. They get a piece of it, fouling it back to the screen, but fooled on the pitch.
Now, that was the slider from Daniel Bard, and Bautista really looked bad on this swing, almost like he's expecting fastball in and gets the slider away.
In the air to right center field. Back goes Ellsbury. Shy of the track now, onto it. Kroger is there to make the catch in front of him and to end the inning. Done with one from Dunedin. It's 2-0 Red Sox.
Number 10.
A's will visit Boston for the second homestand of the season, April 30th, May 1st, and 2nd. Get your tickets now for both of these matchups at redsox.com/tickets. By Valentine's been doing a little bit of traveling the last couple days. Red Sox spending a lot of time on the bus. And as Kelly Shopik leads it off here in the second inning.
I think the crew's going to be staying up here tonight after the ball game. And the new group of players will be coming up to Clearwater tomorrow to play in that game against the Phillies.
Golf foul off to the right. And it's a ball and a strike now to Kelly Shopik. 4 for 19 so far this spring. Shopik gets hit and down to first base. Lead runner on for the second straight inning.
Right down at the feet of Kelly Shopik. Nowhere to go. He just takes it right off the foot and makes his way down to first base. He mentioned it in one of our earlier broadcasts. Shopik really does not make much of an effort to get out of the way.
No. He gets hit a lot, and you can see why. So down to first base to get it started here in the second inning. Nate Spears coming up. Spears getting a start at third base. We've seen him at third. We've seen him at first. We've seen him in the outfield. Spears, 26 years old, born in Fort Myers, Florida. Now resides in Indiana. He's played 10 professional seasons. He's third in the Red Sox organization. Quickly down 0-2. Made his major league debut last year. 3 games for the Red Sox as a September call-up. It's called up on September the 5th. Jonathan He waits on deck. He in the dirt, but knocked down by Mathis. First year in the organization for Spears was 2010, and that was with the Sea Dogs. He had 272 at AA. Last year, 248 for the Paw Sox before getting the September call-up. Up the middle and into center field. One big bounce out to the outfield. And Spears with the base hit as Shopik takes second. The first two Red Sox have reached here in the second inning.
Don, you and I were down on the field prior to the ball game. This is a very hard infield right now, and you can see that bounce again up over the pitcher's head and into center field. Once it clears the pitcher, very little chance for those middle infielders. This is an old-time spring training ballpark right here.
So 2 on, nobody out as you get a look at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium here in Dunedin, Florida. Really the last of the old guard as far as spring training homes go. And the Blue Jays have been here since 1977. The bunt bid for He is sent foul. Blue Jays wearing new uniforms this spring as well during the regular season, to respect and recognize the rich history of the Toronto Blue Jays Baseball Club over their 35-year history. Going back to the old logo for the most part. He pulls it back, and it's 1-1.
Ideally, he'd like to drop the ball if he's going to be bunting down that third base line, make that third baseman commit and leave third base open for the base runner. First baseman has the ability to really charge the ball hard. So ideally, you try to bunt the ball down to third base.
Taking this time instead, and it's 1-2. Seventh at bat in Major League camp for He's 2 for 6 so far. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, resides in Honolulu during the offseason. Late swing, look out, into the crowd hard. In the air to right field. Jose Bautista's out there in right. He'll make the catch, tagging and heading for third base is Shopik, and he'll be very out. Nice throw by Bautista in right field. Shopik does not run terribly well and is gunned down.
Shopik does not run well, and Bautista throws very well. Watch this throw. One hop, and they're just waiting on Kelly Shopik. No need to even bother to slide.
So Spears remains at first base with 2 outs, and it's the top of the order, Mike Aviles. He doubled in the first inning, came around to score the Red Sox first run. Struck well to center field. Rasmus going back, and it's high off the wall. From first, Spears going to try and score. The throw from Escobar is offline, and the Red Sox grab their 3rd run of the game. A 3-0 lead for Boston. Spears coming up lame is across the plate. Aviles with his 2nd double of the game.
And that is the 2nd time Aviles has really hit the ball hard in this game. First time pulling it to left field. This time going more toward center field. He has 400 feet out there to center field, and that ball hits right off the wall. Relay gets by the first cutoff man. The second cutoff man has an errant throw to home plate, and Nate Spears scores.
So Aviles at second. 2 down in the inning for Jacoby Ellsbury, who tripled his first time up, and takes strike 1. Adrian Gonzalez on deck, 2 down in the inning.
Hey, Jacoby! You got nothing.
In tight for ball 2, 2-1. Red Sox getting 2 runs in the first and a run so far here in the second.
Ellsbury unhappy he missed that pitch. He got a breaking ball that was not a very good one. It stayed inside. And Ellsbury fouls it straight back. That's a good pitch to hit right there for Jacoby. You can tell that he's not happy he missed it.
Popped up. Coming from all over, and it's Escobar, the shortstop, who takes charge on the side of the mound to put it away. Red Sox add a run, take a 3-0 lead after an inning and a half. Strong third period last night earned the Bruins a 4-2 victory against the Kings as they maintain their second position in the Eastern Conference. With 8 games left in the regular season, Bruins will wrap up their 3-game West Coast road trip tonight against the Anaheim Ducks. Live coverage begins at 8 on WB Mason. Bruins face off live. Bard back on the mound again. Gave up a base hit in the first, but quickly erased him defensively with a 5-4-3 double play, and Bautista flied out. So faced a minimum in the first. Adam Lind leads it off in the second. Lind 9 for 34 so far during the spring, and the cleanup spot right now for the Jays, and .265 average. On the corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. Adam Lind, 28 years old. Towards the end of the dugout for the Jays and back out again. Adam Lind has been in Toronto since 2006. In his best year, 35 home runs in 2009 and 114 RBIs and at .305. Last year with 26 home runs and a .251 average. High fly ball to deep right. Kroger going back at the wall. That ball is gone. Adam Lind with a home run. Hits the Jays on the board.
That was on the breaking ball from Daniel Bard. He goes to the slider, and Adam Lind picks up the home run. Breaking ball that stays about just above the knees, middle of the plate, and up over the wall for the home run.
.26 during the regular season last year for Lind. He gets a home run here off Bard, and it's now 3-1. Edwin Encarnacion bats, and that one's by him. It's a ball and a strike. ...15 games for Encarnacion, hitting at .293 during the spring. He's 12 for 41. Last time out for Bard against these Blue Jays, 5 innings, 3 runs, 3 hits. He walked 3. The outing before that, his toughest, and lasted just 2 2/3 against the St. Louis Cardinals, which he gave up 7 runs on 6 hits and 2 2/3. Two and two. And as we mentioned, coming into this outing, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 10 earned runs. Chop foul. We'll do it again. 2 and 2. Encarnacion now. Brett Lawrie waiting on deck. Encarnacion now in his 4th year in Toronto. Broke into the big leagues with the Cincinnati Reds. First 5 seasons of his major league career with the Reds.
Right down the middle, bud.
17 homers a year ago for the Jays. Swing and a miss. First strikeout of the day for Daniel Bard, 1 down.
Now much better location with that breaking ball, keeping it away from Encarnacion to pick up the strikeout. The one to Adam Lynn was right out over the plate. This ball down and away. And Bard has the strikeout on the breaking ball.
1 down in the second inning for Brett Lawrie. All he's done is hit .609 during the spring in 9 games. 14 for 23 out of the gate for Lawrie. Picking up where he left off last year. 22-year-old. Played 43 games last year with the Blue Jays. 9 homers and 25 RBIs in the 43 games he played. Milwaukee Brewers first-round draft choice, but he was part of the Sean Markham deal. Fractured his right middle finger September the 21st, missed the remainder of the season as he takes a strike over the outside corner.
Good-looking young player, Brett Lawrie. No question about that. We had a chance to see him a little bit last season. Can do a lot of things well.
Lawrie hits it in the air to right, and Kroger settles underneath it. 2 down in the second inning. I want to remind you this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Here we go. Let's do it, buddy.
Playing in Dunedin, Florida today, where the Red Sox have a 3-1 lead over the Blue Jays. 2 down in the second inning for Eric Thames. Next half inning, Jenny Dell had the chance to talk to Bobby Valentine on Daniel Bard. Thames tried to hold up and could not. He's down 0-2.
I believe that's the first changeup that Bard has featured so far in this game today. 88 miles an hour on a ball going down and away from Thames. Good movement on that changeup.
Why do you think there was reluctance to throw it last time out?
I don't know. Bard, felt comfortable, he said, with his fastball and his breaking ball.
He's like a pretty good pitch right there.
Yeah, and didn't feel as if he needed to use it in that game. Didn't miss here by very much. I guess called for being too low.
Swing and a miss. Thames strikes out 2 Ks in the inning for Bard. A home run for the Jays and a 3-1 Red Sox lead. 3-1, Red Sox on top of the Blue Jays. It's time now for the Bob's Discount Furniture Inside Word. Here's Jenny Dell.
Don, with only 9 days left to spring training and many decisions to make, Bobby Valentine outlined the importance of Daniel Bard's start today.
It's how he feels when he comes out of the game, what that whole look and feeling is about his pitches, about his pitcher, then we'll talk about it and see what the story is. But, I think that Daniel can do what he wants to do. I think he's going to be facing a real tough lineup tonight, which coincidentally would be the lineup that whoever it is the fourth or the fifth starter more than likely is going to pitch their first game against. So this will be interesting.
The development of Bard's changeup as a third pitch may determine his viability as a starter. And the Red Sox are also watching to see how his fastball translates over multiple innings. As you mentioned earlier, Don, Valentine said he wants to see more changeups from Bard.
Thanks very much, Jenny. Well, in this situation right now, as we have seen Bard go through the first 2 innings, he's given up 1 home run in this game. And as Bobby pointed out, whoever will get the 4th or 5th starting spot will be pitching against these Toronto Blue Jays as part of the road trip for the Red Sox, first trip of the year.
And Jenny was talking about the changeup. He threw a couple of good ones in that last at bat to Thames. As a matter of fact, the strikeout pitch in the second inning was on a changeup.
Two strikeouts in the second inning for him. Two to Adrian Gonzalez. Grounded towards Escobar, the high hop. And in plenty of time to get Gonzalez one down.
The left fielder, number 54, Darnell McDonald.
One away in the third inning for Darnell McDonald. Grounded out to shortstop in the first inning, 0 for 1. To left. Thames going back to leap and make the catch. Nicely done. Eric Thames with a good running grab just leaped up and robs Darnell McDonald of extra bases.
Yeah, he really got a great jump on that line drive, too. He was off on contact, and that's the only way he's able to make a play on that. That ball's a rocket by McDonald. And Thames off on contact, able to make the over-the-shoulder catch and save extra bases.
Two down for Ryan Lavarnway with a double in the first inning. Red Sox with 5 hits already in the game as they bat here with 2 outs in the third inning. Broken bat grounder at Escobar. Fields and throws in plenty of time to get Lavarnway, and Laffey has a 1-2-3 third inning. Red Sox have a 3-1 lead. 3-1, Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays. Cross Fenway Park's famous home plate and help provide much-needed services to wounded veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan and their families. Join the 2012 Run Walk to Home Base presented by New Balance on Sunday, May 20th, 2012. Advanced registration is required. To learn more or sign up as a runner or a walker, please visit runtohomebase.org today. A warm day here today in Dunedin, Florida. As we play along to the bottom of the third inning, the Blue Jays coming up. The Red Sox on top 3-1. Kobe Rasmus will lead it off here for the Jays, their center fielder. Rasmus, 25 years old. Broke into the big leagues with the Cardinals for 3 years before going to the Blue Jays. On the ground to first base, gathered by Gonzalez. He'll flip to Bard for the out.
The catcher, number 6, Jeff Mathis.
One down here in the third inning, 4 in a row retired by Bard, and here is Jeff Mathis, former Angels catcher. Used to be in a tandem with Mike Napoli, doing the catching for the Angels for a few years. Was an Angel from 2005 until last year. Pitches 174 last year in 93 games. Known as a very good defensive catcher. Offensively, he's not had very good numbers over the years. In fact, his 174 average and his 224 on base percentage, lowest in Angels single season history. Hits this one a long way to left, though, down the left field line, but headed foul. Hard so far, 12 balls, 24 strikes of his 36 pitches. Had much better control today. Down to first base goes Mathis with the walk. First free pass served up by Bard of the day.
The second baseman, number 2, Kelly Johnson.
1 out, 1 on for Kelly Johnson. He singled to center field as one of the 2 Blue Jays hits on the afternoon. Sliced foul off to the left, and it's 0-1. 39 pitches so far through 2 1/3 innings for Bard. Blue Jays last year trading with the Arizona Diamondbacks, Aaron Hill, to get Kelly Johnson, former first-round draft choice of the Jays. Sort of first low throw, and Gonzalez almost deked the runner into believing it got by him.
Yeah, we'll see him do that quite often. Make believe that the ball got by him and then try to come back and get that runner at first base. Watch Gonzalez pick this, act like it got by him, checks the runner, and almost gets that foot off the bag.
This will get away from Shopik, and up to second base goes Mathis.
Tough to tell if this was a changeup or a breaking ball that got away from Daniel Bard. Up off the glove of Kelly Shopik, and Mathis moves in his second base.
In there for strike two, and it's 2-2. On deck, Yunel Escobar, 1 out, 1 on here in the third inning. Fly ball to center field. Ellsbury back there to put it away for out number 2. Mathis tags and heads for third, and will get there. Well, the popular double play packs are now available for the 2012 season. Create your own unique package with seats for 2 great games. Pair a date with the Yankees or an exciting summer weekend game with an early season game in April or May. Get your double play packs tickets now at redsox.com/double play. 2 outs in the third inning. Jeff Mathis is at third base, and Yunel Escobar the batter. Bounced into a 5-4-3 double play in the first inning, started by Nate Spears at third base.
Hey, Bird! Give him a changeup. Oh, that was brutal, Bird. There goes the short contract, Bird. Hey, Bird, we got Red Speed Lemonade over here, Bird.
Down and away again, 2-0.
All right, Bird.
2-1 from Bard. To center. Ellsbury coming in, but it's in for a base hit, and a run will score. Jeff Mathis in from third base to make it a 1-run game as the Blue Jays score for the second time.
That time a sinking line drive off the bat of Escobar, and you could tell as soon as it made contact that Ellsbury was not going to be able to get to it. Backs off, plays it safe, knocks it down, keeps Escobar at first base, but a run comes home for the Blue Jays.
So 2 down, Escobar at first, and here's Jose Bautista. Broken bat grounders. He got jammed to third. Spears will throw him out and end the inning. Blue Jays get a little closer as they pick up a run in the third. It's 3-2 Boston after 3. Fans, now you'll never miss another Sox game. Go to NESN.com/schedule now to download the full season schedule into your favorite calendar or program. At home, in the office, or on the go, we'll remind you when the game is on. Download it now at NESN.com/schedule. Welcome back to Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin, Florida, where the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays getting single runs in the second and the third innings. A lot of Red Sox Nation making their way here to Dunedin. As the Sox come to bat in the fourth inning, Josh Kroger to lead it off.
Kind of a split crowd here this afternoon. A lot of Red Sox fans on the third base side. Blue Jay fans on the first base side.
Popped up. Back a second, short right as Kelly Johnson, the second baseman. Wynn played with it, puts it away. We're here at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin, Florida. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Jenny Dell bringing you Boston Red Sox baseball in high definition and Adobe Digital 5.1 surround sound on NESN. Coordinating producer of Red Sox baseball is Russ Ken. Senior coordinating director Michael Narachi. And our associate producer is Jim White. One down in the fourth inning for Kelly Shoppick.
Finally pulled Jim White out of his hockey duties and get him back here in baseball. His first love.
Great to have Jim back as always. Shoppick was hit by a pitch in the second inning.
One of the great things about spring training, we had lunch with the crowd today.
We did.
Stopped down to the runway downstairs with all the folks around us and
had a burger.
Had a burger or chicken sandwich. Now you got yourself a sausage, but you didn't think it was cooked.
I got about halfway through and realized it wasn't cooked.
You're a very picky eater, I noticed.
Something about uncooked food is what, you know.
Did you figure if you ate half of it, you'd only get half sick?
Yes.
Yeah.
The more I ate, the sicker I get.
But it is a different atmosphere in spring training, no question about that. Probably be a couple of pictures of us just scarfing down food tomorrow.
Look out. Bat goes into the seats. Fortunately, into the aisleway, it appears, and cleared the seats and into the aisle.
Yeah, the seats here very, very close to the playing field, and that weapon right there just was very fortunate to go into the runway.
Chopped up the middle. Escobar on the move. Sidearm toss dug out at first by Lind, and there's two down. This really is a hard infield. Some high bounces on just about everything.
Anything that hits in front of home plate, you get a high bounce, a big bounce over the pitcher's head. They try to wet it down as much as possible before the game, but it dries up very quickly.
Two down, 6 in a row retired by Laffey, who's starting to settle into his outing. And here is Nate Spears. Spears singled in the second inning, came around to score the Red Sox third run. It's the difference in the game right now.
At least once a game, you see the attempt by Spears to try to bunt, even when there's two outs.
Through the right side into right field, a base hit. Spears is 2 for 2.
Now, he's one of those guys, you know, I mean, you bring him on the road trip, you play him any way you want, third base, first base, outfield. He always seems to contribute in some way. Here he's got a 2 for 2 afternoon going. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try to steal second base, try to get in the scoring position with 2 outs.
Jonathan He, the batter. Flied into what turned out to be a double play in the second inning. His gun down at third base was Kelly Shopik. On the ground towards Johnson at second. He'll just tag the bag to end the inning. Through 3.5 from Dunedin, the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead. Boston Red Sox spring training baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A beautiful day in Dunedin, Florida, as we play along to the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Adam Lind who will lead it off, and then Edwin Encarnacion and Brett Laurie scheduled to bat in the inning. As Daniel Bard back on the mound here for the Red Sox, gone the first 3. Well, home run in the second inning to Adam Lind, who leads it off. Look at the breakdown for Bard, 48 pitches deep into his outing. It's also a 2-out RBI single for Yudel Escobar in the 3rd inning, leading to the second Jays run. Lind takes strike 1. Oh, 0-2 for Bard.
There's another change up from Daniel Bard. That's about 4 of them here this afternoon. So much different than last time out.
A 1-2 pitch. This is a fair ball down the left field line towards the corner. McDonald over to dig it out as Lind heads into second base with his second extra base hit of the game.
The home run that Lind hit back in the second inning came on a breaking ball. This time a fastball from Bard, and he goes the other way. We don't see Adam Lind take the ball down in that area very often, down that third baseline.
A leadoff double here for Lind to begin things in the 4th inning, and Edwin Encarnacion coming up. Encarnacion struck out swinging in the second inning, one of 2 Ks for Bard today. And straightens him up. Two 2-0 inside again. Both the strikeouts for Bard came in the second inning. One walk that came in the third. To right and in for a base hit. Adam Lind will be stopped at third, and the Blue Jays have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Now, nice hitting there by Encarnacion. Is with the man at second base, moves the ball to the right side, gets the bonus, picks up the base hit. Good charge put on by Josh Kroger. That's going to hold Adam Lind at third base. But the Blue Jays in business here, first and third, nobody out.
And it brings up Brett Laurie. Laurie flied out to the right fielder Kroger in the second inning. On the ground is short. Aviles to second for one. On to first for two. A run will score and the game is tied. But a double play turned by the Red Sox in the infield, and it's now 3-3.
Minimizing the damage right there, getting a ground ball right out of Aviles for the easy 6-4-3 double play. And with that, they do give up the run, so it's now a tie ball game. But first and third, nobody out. Looked like it might have been a big inning. The double play certainly cuts those chances.
Eric Thames, the batter. Struck out swinging in the second inning. One of the 2 Ks today for Bard. In the air to left field, sending Darnell McDonald back towards the track to make the catch that ends the inning. The Blue Jays get a run, tie the game 3-3 at the end of 4. Fifth inning, game now tied 3-3. Red Sox at one point enjoyed a 3-0 advantage, but single runs for the Jays in the second, third, and fourth, and we are all tied up. Mike Aviles hit the ball hard twice today. It's 2 doubles. Hops it up foul as Mathis races over by the dugout, but no play.
2 doubles for Aviles in the ball game today. Back in the first inning, pulling the ball down the left field line and then finding right center field off the wall in his second at bat to drive in a run. Aviles now has 4 RBI on the spring.
Another base hit for Aviles. This time into left field. He's 3 for 3 in the game.
This time settling for only the single, but still, again, the ball hit very hard by Aviles. Last couple of games we've seen him play, he's been right on. As far as his offense goes, line shots, everything seems to be hit hard.
So lead runner on for the Red Sox here in the 5th inning, and it brings up Jacoby Ellsbury. He tripled and scored in the first inning. Popped out to shortstop in the second inning. That'll miss to Ellsbury, and the count evens at 1-1. Big crowd here at Dunedin, Florida.
Sun-drenched crowd, too. Not much shade in this ballpark.
About 3 rows.
About 3 rows of shade. That's it.
There they are in the shade. Too tight, and it's 2-1 to Ellsbury. Seen Jacoby hit number 1 spot, number 2 spot in the Red Sox order. He's been leading off the last couple of days. Today he bats second in behind Mike Aviles.
See if they have Aviles on the move here. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Not running as Ellsbury fouls it off to the left.
One thing we've noticed too during the spring is that Valentine likes to also run 2-2. Seen him do that a few times.
Fouled off to the left again. Ellsbury stays alive. And Laffey into his 5th inning of work. Trouble in the first couple of innings, but has settled down here in 3rd, 4th, and now in the 5th. He's given up a leadoff base hit to Aviles. Got a good-sized lead. Checks on him at first base.
A little different move that time from Laffey as he just steps off the back of the rubber and has that sidearm flip to first base.
In the air to shallow center. Rasmus coming in, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Let's check in with Jenny Dell. Jenny?
Well done. Felix Doubront had a solid outing in yesterday's split squad game against the Marlins, continuing his bid to win a spot in the rotation. And Doubront has been tough against lefties this spring, holding them to just a .217 batting average. That's over 100 points less than righties who are hitting .333 against him. Jerry Valentine said he's progressed as well as anyone in this camp.
I would certainly have to agree with that. I don't think anybody in camp expected Felix Doubront to even have a chance to make the starting rotation. And here he is, where he certainly does have a chance to be a number 5 starter.
There's a base hit through the right side for Adrian Gonzalez as Aviles will take third standing. And the Red Sox have runners at the corners with 1 out.
I mean, when you think back during the offseason, could you think of Felix Doubront as being any part of this club, with the exception of maybe a left-hander out of the bullpen?
We've seen so little of him. Tough to really have him on the radar at the time heading into the season, but he has been very good. He had a very good outing the other day when Alfredo Aceves did not have a very good outing. Bad timing, but we'll see how it works out.
Bobby Valentine said he has a bad outing, once every 3 years, and that's about what yesterday was all about.
First and third, 1 out for Darnell McDonald. He's hit the ball hard twice, but has nothing to show for it as sends this one foul off to the right out of play. To left field, Thames racing, diving, and can't catch it this time. It's by him. Aviles will score. Adrian Gonzalez is going to try and score. Cut off in short left. He will score. And the Red Sox take a 5-3 lead. A gamble by Thames, diving in left field. And it gets by him and goes all the way back to the track and the wall. And the Red Sox score 2.
You mentioned McDonald hit the ball hard twice this game, and this was almost a spectacular catch by Eric Thames out in left field. He goes into the dive, but just goes above the glove and gets by him. Stuck under the fence. 3 bases for Darnell McDonald. A couple more RBIs. Gives him 5 total on the spring.
So 1 down. McDonald at third base. Infield in now for the Jays. Ryan Lavarnway, the batter. He takes strike 1 from Laffey. So just when it appeared that Aaron Laffey was settling into his outing, he gives up 3 hits and 2 quick runs here in the 5th. Another strike, and it's quickly 0-2. Skips in, 1-2. Laffey 2-0 in the spring. This is actually the 3rd time that he's faced the Red Sox in spring training already. Last start against Boston, 2 runs over 5 innings, picked up the win. Strike 3 call. Lavarnway doesn't like it. First strikeout of the day for Laffey, 2 down.
Now, Levanway thought that ball was down and in. Let's take another look on replay. Ball did look to be a little bit low, at least from our camera angle.
Two down for Josh Kroger.
Correction, Daniel Nava.
Daniel Nava is pinch hitting here for Kroger instead. Kroger had been 0 for 2, grounding out to second, popping out to second. So Nava into the game for Kroger. And a pop-up into shallow right center field. In comes Bautista, and he gets there in time to make the catch to end the inning. Red Sox get 2 runs in the top of the 5th, take a 5-3 lead. Five-3 Red Sox now have the lead over the Blue Jays. Looking for a unique chance to support the Red Sox Foundation and by extension nonprofit programs in Rhode Island? Be one of the first fans with a Rhode Island Red Sox license plate. This opportunity is open to Red Sox fans with a passenger or commercial plate currently registered in Rhode Island. For more information, visit redsoxfoundation.org. It's on to the bottom of the 5th inning for Daniel Bard, who's got another lead to work with as he is 58 pitches deep into his outing, 36 strikes. And he deals with 8, 9, and 1 in the Toronto Blue Jays order here in the 5th. At a 3-0 lead, now he's got a 5-3 lead. Kobe Rasmus to lead it off here for the Blue Jays. To center, Nelsbury charging in will make the catch below the cap high.
Well, all week we've been kind of pushing the boomer. George Scott's got a book out, Long Taters, Long Home Runs. And George writing a book about his baseball career, his minor league career, and even prior to that. So get out to Barnes & Noble's, Walgreens, all carrying Long Taters by George Boomer Scott, Red Sox Hall of Famer.
One down in the 5th inning. Jeff Mathis, the batter. Do you think you're in the book?
I doubt it.
No?
Nah.
You played a long time with him, though, didn't you?
Not a long time,
no.
Not a long time. Just maybe a year or two.
1-0 is popped up. Left side of the infield. Aviles back onto the dirt. 2 down. Now, this is a big inning here for Bard to have a shutdown inning after his team takes a 5-3 lead. He's got 2 quick outs.
Doing well, too. 61 pitches here in the 5th inning for Daniel Bard.
The second baseman, number 2.
Comes Kelly Johnson.
If you wrote a book, you wouldn't put me in your book.
I would put you in my book. Maybe not any pictures, but I'd...
No, there definitely wouldn't be any pictures of me in your book.
No, you'd have to make the book. I would say you'd be a large portion of the book.
Probably,
I mean, I've only worked
your first major league partner, so you got to make it somehow.
You're out of the gate. You're going to be in the book. There's no doubt about it.
That's what Russ said. Did you hear what Russ said?
Yeah, I heard him. Refer to you as my partner and never mention you by name.
That would be you. That would be you.
The first guy I worked with.
The first guy, he was miserable.
Most unhappy person you'll ever meet. And I turned into him a year later.
You actually said that I've been better over the last 5 years.
I believe so.
I don't see where I've been any different.
No, I do. You wake up with a skip in your step and
yeah.
Smile on your face when you walk in the booth that wasn't there 5 years ago.
Well, that's what happens when you overcome cancer, see?
Well, see, you're a new man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was skipping all the way to pick you up this morning. After the 6 o'clock wake-up call.
Johnson will take the walk. It is the second walk given up by Bard.
Pitch running, Jonathan Diaz.
Yunel Escobar coming up with 2 outs and a runner at first.
Yunel Escobar.
Pinch runner at first base for Kelly Johnson is Jonathan Diaz. So Kelly Johnson out of the game. There's strike one from Bard to Escobar. Third plate appearance of the game for Escobar. He grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the first, single to center in the third. Strike two.
Escobar did not like that call, but looked like a pretty good breaking ball from Bard. I don't know what the complaint might have been.
Swing and a miss. Escobar badly fooled, just waved at that and strikes out. It's a third K for Bard through 5-3. Red Sox lead. Tune in to Nessa tonight at 7 for Charlie Moore's Outdoors. The legend of the Mad Fisherman continues to grow as he lands both fish and celebrities on his boat all season long. You can never tell what Charlie will do next. So get your lures in the water and go fishing with Charlie Moore tonight at 7 on Nesson. 5-3, Red Sox on top of the Blue Jays. We head to the top half of the 6th inning. Kelly Shopik leads it off for the Red Sox. Shopik has been hit by a pitch today and grounded out to short. Aaron Laffey is done after 5 innings today, allowing 9 hits to the Red Sox and 5 runs. He departs and Carlos Villanueva comes into the game. 5th appearance of the spring, 1-0. He's not given up a run. He's not walked anybody. He struck out 3. This one will get away, and the count evens at 2-2.
You know, we must get a lot of games that have been watched by Toronto Blue Jay fans up in Canada, because we get those comments all the time that people see our broadcasts.
Right. On Rogers Sports. Up there they do, I think, about 30 of our games.
Is that right?
If Blue Jays are not playing, a lot of times the Red Sox will be on or the Yankees will be on. We're big in Toronto. This is to third, and a bobble there.
Now pitching for the Blue Jays.
It's like Chris Woodward, who has come into the game at third base, former Red Sox. It is Woodward, and allows Shopik to reach.
Looked like it was going to be a fairly easy out, but right out of the glove of Woodward. And then no throw to first base at all. Didn't look like it, didn't appear that it took a bad hop.
The outfielders you may or may not have seen, Travis Snyder is now in left field. Mike McCoy is in center field for the Jays defensively. As Nate Spears bats.
You were supposed to see him, but I started talking when, there we go.
This is Luis Valbuena.
Oh, it is? Okay.
In the game at shortstop. And at second base, I don't know.
Diaz.
Jonathan Diaz. There we go. The 1-0. Swing and a miss.
I saw another Red Sox Hall of Famer prior to the game today.
Yes.
Bob Stanley.
Yes.
The Steamer, a pitching coach for the AAA Las Vegas ball club for the Toronto Blue Jays.
This is his first year with Toronto?
I think it is his first year with Toronto.
Down the left field line, but foul. Kelly Shopik reaching on an error here in the 6th inning. Nate Spears, who's 2 for 2 bats. The Red Sox on top 5-3. So Laffey, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs. He walked no one and struck out 1. Leaves on the hook. Jonathan He waiting on deck as the Red Sox bat here in the top half of the 6th inning. Ripped down the right field line, but a foul ball.
Spears missing his 3rd hit of the afternoon by about 3 feet down that right field line. Turning on the fastball. Down near the lunchroom. That was not open when we went by it. That's why we ate with the fans. We cannot wait any longer.
I wonder what we missed.
Doesn't matter. What we had was very good.
Ooh. Told meatloaf, mac and cheese, and salad. So he made the right choice, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. And for the first time today, Spears has been retired. Villanueva strikes him out.
Something off speed here. Changeup. Gets Spears out on his front foot.
1 on, 1 out. Jonathan He, the batter, his third plate appearance of the day. Flied out to right in the second. Reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth inning. It's a fly ball to left field. Travis Snyder will make the catch right before the warning track. 2 down in the inning.
You know, we found out today that we have a photo shoot coming up this week, and we learned today that the photo shoot is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. And
how do you get yourself ready for that time?
I don't know. Well, tomorrow I have to be at the clubhouse at 8:30 in the morning to do a one-on-one interview that you don't have to do. So you're already ahead of the game.
No, but you don't have to put makeup on and.
I might.
And all
I might
that
put makeup on for the one-on-one.
For the photo shoot. I mean, that's going to take a long time to get ready for. I thought it'd be a little bit later in the day.
Like 11?
Which would have been perfect.
So those who maybe chose 9 may be watching the game.
If they are, maybe they
11
could change
is
it
better.
to 11. Because I think everybody would look fresher.
Yeah, you don't want tired people. I mean, you're trying to get the best look we have, which is not good to begin with.
No, there's a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work to be done.
And you and I.
Yes.
And you and I.
So, more sleep, more time for makeup. I mean, by the time we get ready for most photos, it looks like we have a mask on.
Right.
Foul held on to by the catcher. So 11's better for you.
11 works very well for me, yes.
Right.
It does, but apparently not for...
We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, well, that's true. We will find out. Maybe it's a possibility.
We've thrown it out there. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Who would you like to hear from tomorrow as I go into my one-on-one? We've done most everybody in camp. This will probably be a second time around guy. So who would you like to hear from again?
How about Felix Dubron?
Might not be a bad idea.
Not a bad idea.
Is there tomorrow? Inside, ball 3, full count.
Another interesting choice would be, although they're probably not going to be there, I was thinking of Bob McClure, the pitching coach, but I think the staff is staying here overnight.
Right. Three-two is popped up right side. Diaz, stride on the outfield grass, puts it away to end the top of the 6th inning. 5.5 done, 5-3 Red Sox. Subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and get over 150 select spring training games with no blackouts and every regular season game live or on demand on your favorite devices. Visit RedSox.com for details. Red Sox have a 5-3 lead for Daniel Bard, who pitches into the 6th inning. Daniel Navas still in right field, as Jackie Bradley is now in center field for the Red Sox. Felix Sanchez is in left. Jose Bautista lead it off in the 6th inning. Look out. We got him on the helmet, it appears, and Bautista fired up. Hand or helmet? Tough to tell. He's grabbing the hand.
It sounded like the helmet, but it's he's got the hand right now.
Remember last year, Bard hitting Corey Patterson in the head against the Jays. And Bautista getting into it with the home plate umpire. Travis Carlson, for some reason, he just turned and started yelling at him.
Maybe Carlson saying it hit the bat.
Now showing him where he got hit. Called it a foul ball, apparently, and he is going to get his gear back on again.
Apparently, he's saying that ball hit above the hand of Bautista off the bat for a foul ball.
Now they're going to give him first base. After the umpires got together, and I don't know how the first base umpire would have had a better look than the home plate umpire, but so down to first base goes Bautista, hit by the pitch.
And out of the game comes Bautista. Rajay Davis taking his place at first base.
Number 46, Adam Lind.
Adam Lind to bat for the 3rd time today. He's homered and doubled. Rajay Davis always a threat to steal. Great speed.
Great speed and a big lead over at first base for Davis.
That's outside. Adam Lind, his first time up in the 2nd inning, homered off Daniel Bard. And the Jays on the board. Out to right field. Followed it up with a double in the 4th inning. He's 2 for 2 today, waiting on a 1-0. There goes Davis at first. The throw from Shopik is going to get away. So Davis will head for 3rd and get there easily standing. Throw was to the shortstop side and quickly got into center field.
A little doubt that Davis was going to run there. He's got Bard on the mound, who takes quite a bit of time to get rid of the baseball. Had a big lead at first base. Ball gets through and into center field, and Rajay Davis pops up and heads to 3rd base. As he's sliding in, that plays in front of him. He can see where the ball is, just pops up and goes to 3rd.
Rajai Davis at third base. Nobody out in the 6th inning. There's ball 4. So there's the 3rd walk of the day given up by Bard. Hit batter and a walk so far in the 6th inning. 74 pitches deep into his outing. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, headed out. Scott Atchison about to start to warm up. Red Sox Nation, if you need medical care at Fenway Park, visit the Beth Israel Deaconess First Aid Stand behind Section 12. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Visit them at bidmc.org. 1st and 3rd, nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Blue Jays. Edwin Encarnacion coming up. So the breakdown for Bard so far. Check swing foul off to the right, and it's 1-1.
Kevin Youkilis traveling up from Fort Myers to watch the game today, making a very nice play.
Down the line at 3rd and a fair ball. This will play Davis from 3rd base as Lynn heads to 3rd. It's a double for Encarnacion, and the Blue Jays are back within a run and threatening for more. Still nobody out in the inning.
Well, he struck Encarnacion out with a breaking ball back in the 2nd inning, but this time Encarnacion's able to make contact on it and pull it right down that line for the 2-base hit.
It's the day for Encarnacion. Ricardo Nanita will pinch run for him at 2nd base. Second and 3rd, nobody out. Chris Woodward, the batter, as he takes ball 1 inside. Woodward, 35 years old, member of the Red Sox in 2009. 1 for 11 so far during the spring. Back with the organization in which he started with. '80th pitch of the day coming up for Daniel Bard. And it's a strike over the outside corner, 1-2. Needed that as he strikes him out. Gets away briefly from Shopik, who fires down to 1st. It's the 4th strikeout for Bard. And the first out of this 6th inning.
Couple of good breaking balls, too. He threw to Woodward in that at bat. Last pitch, a breaking ball. Tried to check his swing. Could not do it. Had to throw him out at first base.
There is Travis Snyder with 1 out, runners at second and third. In there for strike one. Snyder's still only 24 years old, despite the fact that he has been with the Blue Jays since 2008. Has yet to spend a full season in the majors yet. 49 games last year, hitting at .225. Former first-round draft choice of the Blue Jays. 14th overall back in 2006.
Right now, Bond throwing a lot of sliders to try to get out of this jam.
On the ground right side to first for the out as a run scores to tie the game. So Snyder picks up the RBI, and we're tied at 5.
Mike McCoy.
There is Mike McCoy batting for the first time. In there for strike one over the outside corner. Mike McCoy last year with Toronto, 80 games, hit under 200 at 198. Swing and a miss, and Bard strikes him out. But the Blue Jays score twice in the inning. Tie the score 5-5. Boston Red Sox spring training baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Well, back here in Dunedin at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium, where Bard has gone the first 6 innings, and Bob McClure, the pitching coach, talks it over with him here. He has allowed a total of 5 runs today, 2 of them coming in the 6th. The relinquished 2 leads at a 3-0 lead and a 5-3 lead, but it's now 5-5 as we head to the 7th inning. Jason Frazier, the new pitcher for Toronto, 3rd arm of the day for the Jays, his 8th appearance. 3.86 ERA. He's worked in 7 innings. Bradley leading it off for Boston, fouls the first pitch back. Jackie Bradley last year in Greenville and Lowell. From Richmond, Virginia. Red Sox 4th pick. Sandwich pick between the 1st and 2nd rounds in 2011. Swings at the 1-1 and sends it foul to the screen. It's out of the University of South Carolina. Led the 2010 national champion Gamecocks with a .368 average. Also played for Hyannis in the Cape Cod League in 2009. 1-2 is strike 3 from Jason Frazier.
Take a look at the strikeouts this afternoon for Daniel Bard, and you'll see most of them on breaking balls. Breaking ball right there. Another, that may have been a changeup. And a slider right there. Slider again for another strikeout. And another slider for the strikeout. So Bard heavy on the breaking pitches this afternoon to pick up those strikeouts. 5 total on the afternoon.
One down here in the 7th inning. Lars Anderson batting for the first time today. Lars takes over for Adrian Gonzalez at first base. Adrian 1 for 2 with a sac fly and a single today. .367 average for Lars Anderson during the spring. Here's a strike over the outside corner. Foul tipped, 2-2.
Frazier, a very valuable guy out of that bullpen for the Blue Jays for quite some time now.
We're here at Florida Auto Exchange Stadium in Dunedin, Florida. Don Orsillo, Jerry Remy, and Jenny Dell bring you Boston Red Sox baseball. High definition and Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound on Nesson. Coordinating producer of Red Sox baseball, Russ Ken. Senior coordinating director, Michael Narachi. And our associate producer is Jim White. 1 out in the 7th inning. Lars Anderson batting in a 5-5 game. Strike 3. Anderson knew it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jason Frazier. 2 down.
Yeah, first strikeout on the fastball. This time the breaking ball will pick up the strikeout away outside part of the plate against Lars Anderson. One that a left-hander gives up on, the break, and it picks up the corner.
So 2 down in the 7th inning. And here is Felix Sanchez to bat for the first time. Sanchez hitting at .233 last year at Single A Greenville. Scott Atchison had been warming up last inning. Looks like he'll be coming in next inning. Bard going 6 innings today and surrendering 5 runs. Did you see improvement today if he is indeed done, or is this any better than last time, really?
I think very similar to the last outing that he had, don't you think?
Yes.
I wouldn't say a major improvement over the last outing. Much better, obviously, than 2 outings ago. But 5 runs in the 6th inning, that's a lot of runs. Did walk, I believe, 3 in this ball game today. Yes. Did have a better changeup. I'll give him that. He threw about, I'd say, 4 or 5 pretty good changeups in the game today. And he knew he had a good breaking ball because he got a lot of strikeouts on it. But I wouldn't say a major jump from last time out.
Fouled off over by Ryan Lavarnway, waiting on deck. In the dirt, and a full count now to Sanchez. Sanchez been in the organization since 2008. He's from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. Had 55 stolen bases a year ago in Greenville. Named the Red Sox minor league base runner of the year after leading the Red Sox system in stolen bases. Strike 3 called. An impressive inning for Jason Frazier, who strikes out the side in order. 7th inning stretch, game tied 5-5. Tonight after our Bruins coverage, tune in for NESN Daily presented by Sun Life Financial. You see highlights from Worcester as Boston College is 1 win away from another NCAA Frozen Four appearance. Plus, see if Tiger Woods can hold on to his lead at Bay Hill and complete Bruins Ducks highlights as they wrap up their brief 3-game West Coast trip. It's all coming up on NESN Daily tonight after our Bruins coverage only on NESN. 5-5 game at the bottom of the 7th inning. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Scott Atchison comes into the game for Boston, replacing Daniel Bard. 6th appearance of the spring for Atchison. No record, a 4.91 earned run average. Giving up 10 hits and 7 1/3. And opponent's hitting at .333 against Atchison. Jan Gomes batting here. He's had a good spring. High hopper over the mound from third comes Dent. His throw in time. Nice play.
Once again, that ball bouncing very high out in front of home plate. We mentioned a couple of times today how hard it is out there, and that big bounce comes up about belt high for Dent at third base and goes across the diamond to get the out.
So 1 down here in the 7th inning. Jonathan Diaz, the batter. 17 games. He's hit at .464 during the spring. So the final line on Bard today went 6 innings, giving up 6 hits, 5 runs. He walked 3, struck out 5. Outside for ball 2, 2-1. Scott Atchison, 36 years old. There's a strike, 2-2. 3rd straight year in the Red Sox organization. Chopped up over the mound high again. It's he at second base with a throw that's going to get there in time. Nice play. Jonathan He at second base. He's going against the grain and still able to get enough on the throw.
And once he got to this ball, I didn't know if he'd have enough in the arm to get it to first base to get the out, but he does. Throws the perfect strike to Lars Anderson to record the out at first base. So a nice play by He.
Two down for Valbuena. Take strike 1 over the inside corner. Scott Atchison appearing in 17 Red Sox games last year, 1-0. To Dent at third, nice pick on the run. The throw is high, but Lars Anderson is tall, and he comes down on the bag for the out. 1, 2, 3, 7th. Game tied at 5. The always popular standing room only packs are back for the 2012 season. Pair a game against the Yankees or a popular summer weekend date with an exciting game this spring to create your own unique standing room only packs. See 2 great games for as little as $40. Get your tickets today at redsox.com/SRO packs. It's 5-5 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning in Dunedin. And a new pitcher for the Blue Jays, their 4th arm of the day. Luis Perez comes into the game. 7th appearance of the spring. Has not given up a run in 10 1/3 innings. And opponents hitting at just 121 against him. Last year made his major league debut. 37 games for the Blue Jays. Made 4 starts of those 37 games and finished the year 3-3. Originally signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Blue Jays in 2003. Ryan Lavarnway to lead it off. He doubled in the first inning, grounded out in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th.
So the DH becomes the catcher in this ball game, which removes the DH from the ball game. And the pitcher spot would come up in the number 3 spot in this inning.
On the ground up the middle into center field, a base hit. Second hit of the day for Lavarnway.
Now the Red Sox having success early today with offense. You go back to the first inning, Jacoby Ellsbury with a triple right down that right field line that drove in a run. Micah Vilas in the second inning with a double. That'll also drive in a run. And then Donnell McDonald in the 5th inning. He also has a triple. And this one a drive in 2 runs. Nice up in the outfield by Thames. But it gets by him, and McDonald has a triple.
Daniel, live up to your nickname. Double play, Daniel. Here we go.
Daniel Nava took over in right field, flied out to right in the 5th. Take strike 1. Action in the Red Sox pen. Andrew Bailey will be working back-to-back days here as anticipated. Working yesterday and today for the first time this spring. Wrapped foul, and it's 1-2 now to Daniel Nava. Swing and a miss. Nava strikes out. Foul ball flipped into the crowd.
Ah, that's nice.
Youngster ended up with it in the end.
A Jonathan Papelbon fan.
Softly lined into right field for a base hit. And Drew Dominguez has a single to right.
The shortstop, number 71, Nate Spears.
2 on 1 away. Nate Spears coming up. He's now at shortstop. Started the game at third base. Spears with 2 hits today. A single in the 2nd. He singled in the 4th. Struck out in the 6th inning.
Hey, double play, double play.
Jason Frazier was very impressive. He came on in the 7th inning for the Jays, faced 3 batters, struck them all out. His 1 inning of work. We also saw Carlos Villanueva, who went an inning. And now Luis Perez, all in relief of Aaron Lafayette, gave up the 5 runs. It's inside to Spears, and it's 2-0. Swing and a miss, that one by him.
Pretty live fastball at 93 miles an hour by Perez. Throwing it by Nate Spears.
Barnway single to begin the inning. Navas struck out. Drew Dominguez with a single, 2 on, 1 out. Spears with a count of 2-2. Tap foul. Jonathan He waiting on deck with 1 out in the 8th.
Hey, beat Tom Selleck, Mr. Baseball. Come on, Spears, Mr. Baseball. Tom Selleck sucks.
Inside, full count. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded. It's the first walk given up today by Blue Jays pitching.
The second baseman, number 66, Jonathan He.
So bases loaded, 1 out, and Jonathan He coming up. He 0 for 3 in the game. Flied out to right in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and flied out in the 6th inning. He takes strike 1.
Also some nice defense by He as he makes that play to first base last inning to get an out. Nice little base hit. It looked pretty good right here.
Down and in, 1-1.
Hey, come on, Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Yeah, we'll see the company. It doesn't matter what you do.
Away, and it's 2-1.
Not by very much either. Perez wanted that pitch, and he wanted it badly.
He's in a bases loaded jam here in a tie game with 1 out in the 8th.
Hey, Johnny. Ain't got nothing to eat.
Fouled off to the right, and it evens up now at 2-2. Bases filled with Red Sox, 1 out in the 8th. Perez backs off again. On the ground up the middle. It's picked at second for 1. On to first for 2. Big double play for the Jays to get out of the jam in the 8th inning. Red Sox cannot score. Game remains tied at 5. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Red Sox earn a save, CVS Pharmacy will make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards their $25,000 donation this season. Back in Dunedin, Florida. And a new pitcher for the Red Sox coming in the 3rd of the day. The closer going back-to-back days in Andrew Bailey. Bailey appearing in his 6th spring training game, 0-1 with a 5.40 earned run average in 5 innings. 6 Ks, 2 walks, and opponents hitting at .286 against Bailey. As he enters the game here in the 8th inning, a tie game. Tossed a scoreless inning in relief yesterday against the Philadelphia Phillies. Allowed 2 runs in an inning of relief, taking the loss against Pittsburgh back on the 21st. As he works with Ryan Lavarnway. Rajai Davis to lead it off. Former Oakland A stands in on the right side. And takes strike 1. A couple of former Oakland A's going head-to-head here. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Right back up the middle and into center field. A hot shot for Rajai Davis. Always a threat to steal as he is on to begin the bottom of the 8th.
That's very dangerous. Have the leadoff man get on base, especially when they have the speed of Rajai Davis. Looked like a cut fastball from Bailey that time, and toward the end of the bat, but up the middle for the base hit.
Well, we're wondering about back-to-back outings for him and how that works out. Back-to-back, the second game of back-to-back last season, not so good. A 5.40 earned run average for him. And he'd given up 3 runs in 1 outing, which kind of skews the numbers a little bit in the 3rd of an inning.
If I noticed the graphic correctly, he was 5 for 5 in those save opportunities.
Runner goes. Davis is off. Pitch a strike, and Davis steals second base. So into scoring position goes Rajai Davis right away.
He can save the bunt there. When you got a speed like Davis at first base, he really has a running lead. Very little chance for Levanway to throw him out. Now we'll see if they bunt the man to third base with nobody out. Potential go-ahead run.
David Cooper, the batter. And he takes strike two. It'll also be interesting to see how often Andrew Bailey goes multiple innings to get saves also, and how Valentine will use him.
I think it kind of depends on how the rest of the bullpen shakes out.
Mm-hmm. Time called. Levanway requesting time. One and two now to Cooper. Bailey missing the first 2 months of last year. Terrific second half in which he was 16 for 16 in save opportunities. Runner will take off. Levanway's throw to third is not in time. Davis just got in. It looked like the throw was there, but apparently missed the tag.
Yeah, it certainly did. It looked like the throw beat him to third base. Gets away from Levanway. A late break by Rajai Davis to head for a slide, and he must have just got the corner of the bag before the tag. Yeah, it looks like the fingers did get in, Don, before the tag. Looks like a good call by the umpire.
So now Conference at the mound here. Count of 2-2 to Cooper. Infield in all the way around now for the Red Sox. Outside for ball three, full count. Nanita on deck as Cooper reaches out defensively and fouls it off. Davis at third base, nobody out in the eighth in a 5-5 game. Cooper strikes out. A big strikeout for Bailey. One down.
After keeping most of his pitches away from Cooper in that bat, he finally comes inside with the fastball to pick up the strikeout.
Number 64.
So now with one out, the infield will remain in with the man at third base.
Ricardo Nanita bats with one out, a runner at third. Action in the Red Sox pen. Justin Thomas, Justin Germano. Drops the bunt down, and Bailey will come home with it, and Davis will be out. So kind of a safety squeeze there. It didn't break right away. And it didn't get by the mound as Bailey comes home with it as he breaks towards the plate, and they get Davis.
Yeah, that's a little bit different than a suicide squeeze. That would have been a good enough bunt on a suicide squeeze, but on a safety squeeze, no good. Right back to the pitcher, the shuffle pass to Levanway, and they make the tag at home.
Anderson holds on. Nanita now at first base. Pitch out, nothing doing.
One more look at that play at home plate now. You see the runner at third holding to see where the bunt goes. If it goes back toward the pitcher, you don't have to go.
Woodward lifts a fly ball down the right field line. Long run for Nava. He'll make the catch that will end the inning. So Bailey gets out of the jam. We head for the ninth, tied at 5. Join us next Sunday afternoon as we wrap up our spring training telecast schedule in Fort Myers. The Red Sox will host their Lee County neighbors on the final Sunday of Grapefruit League action. Sox Twins live coverage begins at 1:30. And as always, Red Sox spring training baseball is presented by Southwest Airlines.
Number 90, Ryan Dent.
Well, we head to the top of the ninth inning, tied 5-5. And it's Ryan Dent who leads it off for the Red Sox. New pitcher on for the Blue Jays. Drops a bunt down the third baseline as from third, the throw is dug out nicely at first. Nicely done. What a play for the first out of the ninth.
A nice play by Cooper at first base. First of all, Woodward with the bare hand, then Cooper digging it out of the dirt over at first base to get that out.
One down for Jackie Bradley coming up. Bradley takes strike one from Jim Hoey, 29-year-old from Trenton, New Jersey. Pitched for the Minnesota Twins last year. Pitched with the Orioles for parts of 2 years in the majors prior to that. 6'6". One and two of the Twins last year in 26 games, all out of the pen. Chop foul down the first baseline. It hangs at 1-2. Bradley bats now. Lars Anderson waits on deck as the Red Sox bat here in the top half of the ninth. Sliced foul, and it hangs at 1-2. Well, he claimed off waivers by the Toronto Blue Jays during the offseason from the Twins. Strike 3 call. 2 down in the ninth.
The first baseman, number 62.
Once again, pretty nasty pitch. Looked like it was a little bit low, but again, pulled up in that strike zone by Gomes, the catcher, and they get the benefit of the call.
2 down in the ninth inning for Lars Anderson. Takes strike 1. So far, the Jays have received good relief in this game. Aaron Laffey in 5 innings gave up the 5 runs the Red Sox have. Jays relievers have handled the last 3 innings, and the Red Sox have not scored since the 5th. The 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2.
One more look at the safety squeeze. Runner holes at third base. You're supposed to read where the bunt goes. And if it goes back to the pitcher, you don't have to go. That time they elected to do so, and the Red Sox make a nice defensive play.
Lars Anderson strikes out. Jim Hoey with a 1-2-3 ninth. Game tied 5-5. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Jordan's Furniture, the official furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Ace Ticket. And by New Balance, the official footwear and apparel sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. New Balance, let's make excellent happen. Back in Dunedin, Florida, tied 5-5 as we head to the bottom of the ninth inning. Red Sox out hitting the Jays 11-7. And a new pitcher for Boston, 4th of the day, is Justin Thomas comes into the game. Thomas's 8th appearance, no record, a 5.68 earned run average. Walked to 5 Ks, opponents hitting up over 300 against him. Travis Snyder will lead it off here for the Blue Jays in the ninth. Snyder grounded out in the 6th inning. Took over for Eric Thames, who had been 0 for 2.
Everybody clap your hands.
swing and a miss. And he's down 1-2.
No chance right there on that breaking ball from Thomas. Very hard slider down and away, and a very awkward looking swing.
Goes around and strikes out for the first out of the ninth.
Saw the bad swing, comes back with the exact same pitch and gets another bad swing.
Mike McCoy.
So advantage Thomas that time against the left-handed Snyder.
Mike McCoy coming up with 1 out in the ninth inning. Struck out back in the 6th inning. Justin Thomas, 28 years old, born in Toledo, Ohio, resides in Dalton, Ohio. He's made 20 major league relief outings between the Mariners and Pirates. Spent the entire year last year at AAA Indianapolis, facing the International League with a career high 63 appearances for Justin Thomas last year.
Okay, Mike, come on now.
Had 8 relief wins for Indianapolis. Sliced foul off to the right, and it's 1-2. Covidien, a global healthcare products company, is a proud sponsor of the Red Sox Foundation, helping to address health needs in our communities. 1 out in the bottom of the ninth, tied 5-5. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Thomas. 2 down.
Now Thomas making it look very easy here in the ninth inning with strikeouts against Snyder. Now McCoy. Again, that might have been a changeup that time from Thomas to pick up the strikeout.
Here's Yan Gomes with 2 outs in the inning. Gomes had grounded out to third base his first time up. Thomas falls behind 2-0. We saw Bard for 6 innings today. Gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. Lars Anderson or Scott Atchison went an inning. Andrew Bailey went an inning, giving up a hit, no runs. Justin Thomas working the ninth with 2 outs. There's ball 3. There's the strike, 3-1. On the ground to second base, Dominguez will pick up an error most likely, as reaching at first base is Gomez.
I'm sure it will go as an error because Dominguez only had to go a couple of steps to his left to front that baseball.
Second baseman, number 62, Jonathan.
1, 2 steps, and it just goes right off the glove.
So an error charged at second to Dominguez, 2 outs. There's Jonathan Diaz. Grounded out in the 7th inning. Takes strike 1. In the dirt, gets away, and up to second base goes Gomez. No throw. So in a scoring position now. Potential winning run for the Jays.
Wild pitch this time as the ball bounces in front of Lavarnway, and it bounces up the third base line.
There he is.
Pretty easy win to read for the runner at first base. Knows he has plenty of time to get into second in scoring position.
In there for strike two, and it's 1-2. Potential winning run at second base for the Blue Jays. 2 outs in the ninth. On the ground to shortstop. Picked by Spears. The throw is in time. And depending upon the pitching situation, we'll see if we move on to extra frames here. With the game tied 5-5. Tonight after our Bruins coverage, tune in for NESN Daily presented by Sunlight Financial. See highlights from Worcester as Boston College is 1 win away from another NCAA Frozen Four appearance. Plus see if Tiger Woods can hold on to his lead at Bay Hill and complete Bruins Ducks highlights as they wrap up their brief 3-game West Coast trip. It's all coming up on NESN Daily tonight after our Bruins coverage only on NESN. 5-5 score as we head to the top half of the 10th inning. And we will play the 10th. Blue Jays bring on a new pitcher into the game. Clint Everts. Last year in Las Vegas. 9 games, no record. Bunt bid here. Dropped down by Balbuena. The throw is going to be in time. Nice play, 1 down.
Now, if that ball bounces one more time, the pitcher has no chance, but he did a good job charging this ball and fielding it in the air right there, and that makes the difference at first base to get the out.
So Balbuena retired and brings up Ryan Lavarnway. Barnway takes strike 1. Barnway 2 hits in the game, a double in the first, single in the 8th. Ground ball back up the middle. Diaz, off-balance throw, will throw it away, but it's picked by the first baseman, but reaching at first is Lavarnway.
That should probably go as an error on the second baseman because he had plenty of time to get himself set to make a throw to first base. Going up the middle makes the throw on the run. It's going to pull that first baseman off the bag. Look how far Lavarnway was from the bag. I think Diaz had time to stop himself and make a much better throw than that.
Here's Daniel Nava, who is 0 for 3 in the game, or 0 for 2 right now. He's flied out to right and struck out. On the ground foul outside of first.
By the way, they score that, a base hit for Ryan Lavarnway. So he's got 3 hits on the afternoon.
Outside, ball 2, and it's 2-1. Red Sox action in their pen. Mathis is up. Efforts with a 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball slips out of his hands. 3-1. One out, one on here in the top half of the 10th. To right field, and that'll get in. Heading towards the corner as Lavarnway heads for third base. Royster will stop him there. And it's second and third with 1 out. A double for Daniel Nava.
Daniel Nava getting a ball inside and hooking it just inside that foul line. Rolls all the way down to the Blue Jays corner. Gets trapped up in some chairs. And Lavarnway makes it to third base where Jerry Royster puts the brakes on.
So big spot for Drew Dominguez.
Now, will he try to squeeze in a run? We've seen this before, second and third.
The pitch out, and he's going to snap throw down to third base, drops the baseball.
They must have been watching the Yankee game the other night.
They're well aware of the possibility.
And it still remains a possibility.
Two and 0. Popped up. Foul back and out of play. up high. Varnway was doing a little bit of dancing down the third baseline. 3-1 now, the count to Drew Dominguez with one out, runners at second and third in the 10th. Dominguez fouls it back to the screen.
Let's go.
A little bit high, ball 4, and he walks in. Loads the bases with one out in the 10th. A chance now for Nate Spears to put the Red Sox on top here in the 10th inning.
Infield move back for John Farrell at second and short, playing for the double play.
Ground ball to second, bobbled for a second for one, on to first. It is in time for the double play. And the Jays get out of the jam in the top of the 10th. Still tied at 5. A strong third period last night earned the Bruins a 4-2 victory against the Kings as they maintain their second position in the Eastern Conference. With 8 games left in the regular season, the Bruins will wrap up their 3-game West Coast road trip tonight against the Anaheim Ducks.
Whack, whack.
Live coverage begins at 8 on WB Mason's Bruins Face Off Live. Back here in Dunedin, Florida, as we get ready for the bottom of the 10th inning. And the Red Sox bring on their fifth pitcher of the day. Doug Mathis comes into the game.
And a nice defensive play, a double play to end that last inning. Diaz, the second baseman, they move back into a double play position. He bobbles it, but very quick work by Valbuena, the shortstop, to get that ball to first base and get Nate Spears and get out of a bases-loaded jam.
Here's Doug Mathis, his 6th appearance. No record, 3.24 earned run average. Opponents hitting at 242 against him. 1 walk to 7 Ks. Last year,
Number 1, Luis Valbuena.
with Fresno, Sacramento. 17 appearances between the two. 3 years in Texas with the Rangers. His major league experience. 28-year-old from Maryville, Arizona. First year in the Red Sox organization. Valbuena leads it off and takes ball 1 outside. He grounded out to third base in the 7th inning. 2-0 pitch. Valbuena takes ball 3. Ball 4 and a leadoff walk. Lead runner on here for Toronto in the bottom of the 10th inning. Comes Rajay Davis.
Rajay Davis.
Lars Anderson holding on Valbuena at first. Davis drops the bunt down, gets it by the mound towards second, and they got to hurry, and it's not in time. He's got just too much speed. He beats it out on bunt base hit.
Yeah, he's really made his speed evident in this ball game. A base hit last time up, then a stolen base, and now bunting this ball hard towards second base. A push bunt towards second base, and beats that out for a base hit. It was supposed to be a sacrifice. He got a little too much of it, but it didn't matter. He beats it out anyway.
The first baseman, number 30, David Cooper.
Here is David Cooper, who struck out looking his last time up. Ball 1 to Cooper.
Ricardo, déjalo en el terreno.
Valbuena representing the winning run for the Blue Jays in a 5-5 game in the 10th. Ball 2, 2-0. Mathis falling behind again. Mentioned he spent time last year AAA in the Giants and A's system, but also pitched in Korea. Three and 0. Cooper taking all the way, and he takes strike 1. Ball 4 and the bases are loaded.
Well, now everybody will have to come in. Infield, outfield. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Number 64, Ricardo Nanita.
Ricardo Nanita coming up here. Bases loaded and nobody out. Oh for 1 with a ground out. Bloop to right in for a base hit, and the Blue Jays will walk off with a win in 10 innings. Nanita with a hit that wins it for Toronto as the Jays win it 6-5.
Well, infield pulled in, outfield pulled in, just a little bloop up over the head of the first baseman, and Red Sox do not record an out in the 11th inning, or the 10th inning, I should say, and end up losing the ball game.
Final score is 6-5. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox today in 10. Jerry Remy and Jenny Dell. I'm Don Orsillo saying good afternoon from Dunedin, Florida. Join us again next Sunday afternoon for our final spring training telecast. Red Sox will host the Twins from JetBlue Park. Our live coverage begins at 1:30. This has been a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. Stay tuned next for Bruins in 2.